What's up, Brewskis? My name is Marco Dupa, and with me, as always, the great and powerful, it's Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
What is up, Brewskis?
Tonight's brew, I haven't seen yet. I don't know what it is.
You don't know.
Do you want to wait till after the break to do it, or do you want to introduce it right now? Do you want to pull the rabbit out the hat?
Sure, yeah. So, if you don't know, this is our best of episode.
Best of
2024. So what I did is my turn to buy the beer. I did my due diligence.
Uh-huh.
I looked up our records.
Oh, wow.
Looked in the archives.
Oh, shoot.
I saw from this year what we unanimously gave 6 out of 6 bottle caps, and one happened very recently.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to redo that one.
Yeah.
But one of the other ones that we did that I didn't get is the Anger Celebrator Doppelbock.
Oh, yeah.
Which was
classic,
excellent.
Classic,
excellent
classic,
as well.
Classic.
But there's one other one that I think deserves its time to shine once again. Again, a unanimous 6 out of 6 bottle caps in 2024. What I would like to call, and you may agree or disagree with me, Marco, Beer of the Year.
Okay.
It is. Now Yous Can't Leave.
Oh.
I found it back in Florida.
Amazing.
So went out of my way to grab this bad boy.
Right.
Available at Total Wine. So
Right on.
got us a couple of Now Yous Can't Leaves. Shout out to Bronx Brewery.
Oh, yeah. Let's go, dude.
Yeah.
I completely forgot that we gave this unanimous 6. That's awesome.
We
All right.
looked really happy by the end of it, too. So just wanted
Well,
to
let's see.
replicate that experience.
10.1%.
Yeah,
Probably going to get there again.
I hope so.
Like Adam said, this is the best of 2024 episode, so we're just going to run through our list of the best music, the best movies, and Adam's going to take over the best video games, because I honestly just didn't play enough games to warrant a full list.
Oh, he's a grown-up.
I am an adult who pays bills,
Yeah.
so I couldn't play that many video games. So let's get right into it. This is the best of 2024, and this is episode 446 of the One Beer In podcast.
Lost to be found by someone to save you when you're down.
It's just like you're not getting enough attention over there.
She's allergic to being ignored.
Notice me, senpai.
Bless you.
No, it's okay. That's probably going to be right in the middle of the song anyway. So
That's true.
Will you cut out the audio at that
it depends. If we say something funny, I leave the audio.
Yeah.
If we just sit here like we just did and pour beer and then you sneezed, I usually cut it out.
Yeah.
Please
So
keep it.
you want me to keep it in? People are gonna be like, "Oh yeah, the theme song that I know." And like, oh, what was that? Jesus Christ!
Clinker.
All right.
Let's drink her. Oops.
Yep, still works.
Uh-huh.
Still does it. Easy does it. Okay. This is episode 446. I'm Marco. That's Adam. This is the best of 2024. If you don't agree with our list, no, I'm kidding. If you don't agree, actually,
Let us
it'd
know.
be really fun to see you guys' lists.
Yeah, use guys.
Use guys' lists. So, yeah, your favorite movies, favorite video games, and favorite albums of the year.
Yeah.
Or you want to get even stickier. Favorite moments, favorite TV shows.
Sure.
Favorite dish you had.
Your favorite
beer.
episode of our episodes.
Yeah, favorite episode. Whatever you guys want to drop into the comments, that would be sick.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're just gonna get rolling into what we got here. So.
Well, and real quick,
Oh yes.
this is the Bronx Brewery. Now Yous Can't Leave.
That's right.
Double India Pale Ale, 10.1% ABV. Double the fruit hop flavor, double the aroma. That's all we got. It's brewed by the Bronx Brewery, Bronx, New York.
New York. Simple and clean.
Yep.
I think I'm just gonna pull up the list on my phone.
Okay.
So I don't have to keep flicking back and forth between screens. Ugh. Actually, can I see it from here? No. It's not worth it. Okay, let's do this. How do we want to kind of format this? Can I go back and forth, or should we just give like a top 5 and then a little explanation as to each one?
Let's do a little backsies foresies. How about that?
Yeah, I think
that's
what
fun.
we usually do, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So where we start?
We want to do top 5, top 10. How many albums?
I have a lot of albums, but I tried to be as strict as I could with myself, as hard as it was, to get everything drilled down to a top 5.
Yeah.
Now I do have some other, ones that came very close that I also want to tip the hat to.
Yeah.
And also, I actually included some albums that I meant to get to, or did get to, but got to too late to fully give them my full, to give a full chance, I guess, to really hit my list. Because
Yeah.
I like to let art simmer with me a bit. I don't know about you, but in looking through my list here, I actually took some time and perused a lot of the major outlets' top albums of the year to see if there's anything I missed that I would think would be interesting to listen to. And in doing that, I found some really good albums. So I didn't want to leave those out. So they're not on my list, but they are included in some albums I missed.
Okay.
So, but do you think we should do those after we go through our list?
I say we do a top 5.
Okay.
And we go back and forth on our top 5, and then yes, we'll do our
honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions.
Yes. Okay.
All right. So
you want me to start us off?
I go ahead. Go ahead and start us off.
Okay.
Go ahead and start us off.
Number 5 for me is Mahashmashana from Father John Misty.
Yeah.
A newer album, one that I was glad to hear a return to form of sorts after Chloe. Which I liked but did not love.
Yeah, it was interesting. He's a guy kind of playing around with
Sound,
yeah,
and style. But this is a little bit closer to the sound that I kind of was attracted to with Father John Misty when he first started out as Father John Misty proper. Mm-hmm. So yeah. Mahashmashana, Father John Misty. How about you? What's your number 5?
Okay. I've been trying to format this to give this like a. I don't know if I want to put that number. I just had like
last minute changes here.
Yeah, because I was, and I'm looking at the list again, and I'm like, if I have to narrow it down to 5, I did a lot of music listening this year.
Yeah.
I just want to say off top. 2024 was a tremendous year for music.
Yeah.
There was so much stuff that came out.
This was very hard to boil down.
Yeah. This was tough.
Yeah.
This was tough.
Yeah.
And there was, I'll just say this because I'm not gonna bogart this topic with like 15 albums, but I have a lot of honorable mentions.
Sure. Yeah. No, you can.
Outside of the top 5.
Feel free to list them.
So I think what I'll just do is straight up just say this might change.
Okay.
Not this week.
It is published.
I'm saying it might like later on I might come back and etch something else, etch a X across the number that I'm giving. But right now I'm going to put the Cure's album at number 5.
Okay.
I did listen to it a little bit later. Like very, very recently, actually. So there's a little bit of recency bias there.
Sure, it came out pretty recently too.
Yeah,
and it's not that long.
Fantastic. It is an incredible. I don't want to say return to form because I'm gonna be honest. I don't follow the Cure that closely to understand like did they have some kind of huge drop off in quality in their albums. I mean, most bands from the 80s are gonna have bad albums in their discography.
I'll just say the mid 90s to early 2000s were pretty rough for 80s big hitters.
Yeah.
So in general.
But this is all of the good press that if you're following music, you probably saw a lot of people talking about how good this new Cure album is, and I'm telling you, it's warranted. It's a fantastic, fantastic album. Big wall of sound. It's only like 8 songs, I believe, but it's almost an hour's worth of music, and it's just like these long detours and these just and Robert Smith sounds like he hasn't aged a day.
Yeah.
It's really just like, it's like, fuck, man. Where this is incredible. It's
Where
really,
have you guys been?
It's shocking. It's shocking how good it is from a band that's been around as long as they have.
Yeah.
It is probably one of the best, like, return to form kind of albums that I've ever heard.
Yeah.
From a band that has been around as long as they have.
You will see in my list, that's a pretty big theme, is return to form.
Yeah.
So I think it's been a big year for that.
Yeah.
But that's interesting. I haven't listened to it yet, so
I think you'll really, really enjoy
I
it.
have got to do that. Okay.
That's mine.
My number 4. Chromacopia. Tyler, the Creator. Another relatively recent output by Tyler. But one that we were looking forward to, and for good reason, thankfully. It turned out really, really good. We talked about it a little bit already on the podcast, so I won't belabor the point, but I think he's one of the most inventive, artists, pop artists in general, currently still making music. So this modern run of Tyler the Creator has been something really special, and I think we're going to look back on with fondness, and I'm just really appreciating the moment that we've had.
Yeah.
Very interesting, very diverse sounds, very experimental, but also, friendly enough to be able to listen to on the radio. Some bops in there too. So very impressed to see the quality standards continue with Tyler the Creator and Chromacopia.
Yeah. Mine's also Chromacopia.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, it just, like, watch his evolution as an artist and the way, the care that he takes every time he does an album rollout. And Chromacopia one was actually kind of fast rollout. Like, the album got announced, a couple of videos dropped, some trailer stuff, and boom, there was the album.
Yep.
And I think it's him kind of combining some sounds from his past, some stuff that he's doing as far as, like, going, looking forward musically, sonically.
Yeah.
Lyrically, it's probably one of his most personal albums ever. It's like mask off as far as, he's kind of long since retired the shock characters,
the horrorcore rap.
Yeah. But there was still a level kind of removed from his personal life. He would say things, and then people would be like, "Is Tyler, like, bisexual, or like what's the stuff about having
What's
sex
going on with that
white
guy?"
boys and stuff.
Yeah.
So it always kind of felt like, is he still messing with us? Is what's real and what's not?
And he's played characters on albums too.
Yeah,
So.
and even on this one, it feels like he's also playing a character, but it feels like it's at least as personal as he's been since, like, his early career stuff.
Sure.
It was
Yeah,
very
he
in-your-face.
has his mom on it talking.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
can't get much more personal than that.
Yeah.
All right. My number 3. Speaking of return to form, Only God Was Above Us, Vampire Weekend.
Oh, right. Yeah, of course.
When this album dropped, it did something to me. Like, I just immediately turned into a preppy northeastern man who wears a lot of polos. Like, it just it changed something in me in a great way, and brought me back to, like, the mid 2000s when Vampire Weekend was really hitting it off, and I think it really is a return to form for that band, and really catchy, really interesting. Again, there's a good diversity of sound there, and doesn't overstay its welcome. I think it's just like a perfect little album. I hadn't gotten back to it in a while because so much, like you said, this year has been insane for albums and for music in general. But having gone back recently, I'm like, still got it.
Yeah.
It's still so good.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it.
Nice.
Yeah.
My number 3 is going to Doechii. Her debut album, I think, is fantastic. Tampa-based rapper, so we got ourselves a Florida girl. The diversity of sound, the influences that you can hear throughout the album, she gets personal. She can rap her ass off. I mean, she's got a good ear for beats. I think it's hopefully doesn't get overshadowed. I know that, like, the NPR Tiny Desk thing has got a lot of people talking about her now, so that's good.
Yep.
Hope we go into 2025 and she's still getting a lot of like positive press, because this is, I think, one of the better debut albums in hip hop for sure.
Nice.
Yeah, really, really good stuff. Really, really good.
Really good.
Really good.
All right. My number 2. GNX. Kendrick Lamar. I tried my best not to allow recency bias to play into this, and I don't think it did. I think this is going to be an album with staying power. Everything from the surprise rollout of it to the the hot anticipation of what Kendrick Lamar would come out with after this entire run of beef tracks and all the controversy and everybody talking. I just think, there's striking while the iron's hot, and there's GNX.
Right.
It was just incredible. The bases were loaded, and he hit a homer. It was insane. And another hip hop artist that has started to always has, I should say, peel away at like his own persona, dissected it, gotten personal, but again can like balance it out with sonically really accessible music too, which is no easy feat, and really doesn't feel like he's repeating himself very much. Still sounds fresh, and it's just such a victory lap. I know that's over said about GNX, but it's so true. Like the year could not have ended better for Kendrick Lamar. With GNX, and I think it's one of his better recent albums. It's great, fantastic.
I have GNX at 2 as well.
Yeah.
That's 2 for 2 right there.
Nice.
Everything you said, I can't really. It's I don't know if there's ever been a moment in time where somebody was. It's like when an actor is in like 2 or 3 movies in the year, and then they cap it off by winning an Oscar in one of those movies, and you're just like, this dude had. It's like the Jamie Foxx year when he had Collateral and Ray.
Yeah.
And I think he had dropped music too. Like he was just everywhere.
Yep.
He just was unstoppable.
And it was all good.
Yeah, so it's just one of those things we're gonna look back on in the history of hip hop and the history of pop culture, because how globally this year was, his global influence this year.
Yeah.
Like they were doing Not Like Us at fucking Indian weddings.
Sure.
And it was everywhere.
Yeah.
And then to cap that off with like an incredible album. Can you imagine if he did all that and then he put out an album and it was like, kind of sucked.
Yeah.
No, he made the right move. He didn't come back with something like Mr. Morale. Although I really love Mr. Morale, it was polarizing.
Yeah.
He chose to come back and be like, oh, you want bops? Daddy got bops.
Yeah.
And that's what he did. So, yeah, GNX.
SZA,
number 2.
come here. I need you.
It's tour time.
Yeah. Yes. So, finally, number 1 for me. No Name, Jack White.
Oh, dude, I can't believe I forgot that. That's not even on my list.
The Blue Album,
gotta
if
put
you
it
will.
on my list.
The Blue Album, if you will.
Completely forgot about that album.
Yeah, that's why
Goodness.
That's why I mentioned the Return to Form being kind of a theme for my list.
Yeah. I can't believe I forgot about that one. That
It's-
actually might have cracked my list.
Yeah. I mean,
I thought about
again,
that.
there's no losers here. Like
No losers.
There's so
Everyone's having a good
this
time.
is all a celebration.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just as a long suffering White Stripes fan,
Yeah.
post breakup, it's just so nice to hear what I would consider like a miracle of an album. Mm-hmm. It is like turning back the clocks, but while acknowledging like time has passed, and there's an evolution of his sound, and it doesn't sound exactly like the simplicity of the White Stripes project. It still sounds like a Jack White album, but it harkens back to this golden era of his music that I have missed and never thought I would get back.
Yeah.
And I do think, you may look at the album and say like, oh well, that was a really safe play on his part, like just play the hits, air quotes. But I disagree. I think it was such a gamble to make an album like this when there is so much classic material already out there that is in a similar vein, and to try to go back to that well. I've seen plenty of artists do this, similar thing where they go back to like the original sound, and it is just disappointing. Mm-hmm. It's diminishing returns. It feels like it's not quite the same. Not so for this album. And I can't exactly put my finger on why that is. Maybe it's just the amount of time that's passed, the amount of exploration and experimentation he's done in the meantime, a lot of which I enjoy, his side projects and his solo work. Before this, I enjoy a healthy dose of it. But, this album scratched an itch that I had long forgotten about. And, I love it. I think it's one of his best projects thus far. And in my opinion, my favorite album of the year.
I think part of the beauty of that album, what you're saying, is like that thing that he captured that you can't really put a finger on it's just the fact that you go so long without hearing just back to basics, bare bones rock and roll. And then when somebody finally does it, you're like, oh yeah, that's right. That's why that's so awesome.
Yeah.
And I've been having this discussion with people just in real life, and I've been trying to figure out like the best just guitar rock band in the world right now, and nobody can give me a straight answer, and that's a good and bad thing.
Yeah.
Everybody had their favorite or who they thought was the best. I got a lot of different answers, but the thing is, all of these different bands are doing like subgenre stuff or quote unquote genre bending stuff, and it's no one is just doing fuck you, balls to the walls, rock and roll.
Well, and a lot of times if they are, it's boring. It's like played out. It is not doing anything, and it doesn't. I think one of the big things that I put my finger on with this album is that Jack White still has the swagger that you need to pull something like this off.
Yes, that's exactly it.
So
that's the difference between him and everybody else who tries to do shit like this.
Yeah.
You need the confidence, you need the swagger, you need that energy. You need what the kids call the Riz. To do something like that. and honestly, dude, that's one of the things that annoys the shit out of me about like newer bands is they don't seem to understand.
They got no Riz.
There's just no coolness factor.
They're too introspective.
Yeah, it's like, dude, I mean, you can be introspective, but you have to be able to pull it off in a way that's not. I'm not saying that you can't be sincere, because I don't appreciate the idea that we're like in this post cynical kind of weird area where nobody is allowed to be sincere and just say how they feel. But I do think that you have to do it in a way that conveys the sentiment of what you're trying to say while also still being kind of like,
not everybody has to go, but if you're gonna do it, you got to do it.
Right.
So you can be sad. You can write your sad little quiet songs and cry a little bit. Yeah. Or you can just rock out.
Yeah.
Jack White rocks out.
And I think that some people like they don't understand, like, if you're gonna be sincere, well, you have to be a good songwriter first and foremost.
Yeah, that helps.
But if you're gonna be sincere, then be sincere in a way that you're not trying to impress people or trying to get away with something with your songwriting. Like, okay, listen to someone like Jim Croce, for instance. The sincerity in the music that he used to write. He's not trying to pull the wool over your eyes. He's not also trying to fuck you, right? He's not writing this music because he knows like women are gonna think it's sexy. Sure. These are heartbreaking songs he's talking about, and the way that he's writing them, it's heart aching.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels like it's coming
Songwriters
from a
like
real
that.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna do it, I don't know why I'm getting in this detour of like sincerity and songwriting.
Well, no, it's important.
I guess because Jack White can write cool fucking songs and not come off corny, even though he's like been in the game for years.
Right.
And this is, like you said, a return to form for him. This is basically the newest White Stripes album.
Yeah.
But he's still able to pull it off.
Yes,
And that's tough.
I think it's important to note too, like he's also writing about stuff. You know, like it's not just, you know, butt rock.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about nothing. If you listen to the lyrics, he's saying something. It's coming from a long lineage of his clear appreciation for blues music that was all very meaningful and had purpose. And yes, it was simple, but if you actually listen, you peel away some of those layers, there's something to be said there.
It's onion music.
It's onion music. Yes. Very stinky.
It's very stinky.
Yes. It's hot in the bayou.
Okay.
Yeah.
My number one album is also a blue album. It's Blue Lips from Schoolboy Q. My absolute favorite album of the year. I think the best hip hop album of the year. Probably the best album in my opinion.
Well, you made it number one, so.
Yeah, right. So, yeah.
Well, I guess
that's how that works.
Your favorite.
It is my favorite, but I also think
You
that
think it
it's
may be the
I
best.
yeah. I think it belongs on any, you know, Time magazine, any Variety, any Entertainment Weekly list or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Because I think it's incredible. I think Schoolboy Q is the unwritten hero of TDE. I think in some regards he could be considered the best member. I know Kendrick Lamar is obviously the most talented, and the highs of his career almost nobody can reach at this point.
Yeah. He's in rarefied air.
Right. And he's somebody who is being considered one of, if not the greatest rapper of all time. But Schoolboy Q, from a consistency standpoint, from the jump, has never. I mean, Crash Talk is okay. That one was a little detour where you're like,
Sure.
okay, I don't, but there's still like really great moments on it. And then you come back with Blue Lips, and it's like, this guy still got it. Great songwriter, great rapper. I think very underrated as far as you think, as far as what you think from these guys, like the Black Hippie Crew, for instance. Kendrick is the consummate best.
Yeah.
Ab-Soul's the lyricist. J Rock's the like elder statesman / gangster rapper.
Yeah.
Schoolboy Q is just, you know, the kind of fun gangbanger dude in the group, and it's like, if you actually listen to all of them, you would be wrong on all accounts.
Right.
And I think people are the most wrong about Schoolboy Q.
Yeah.
Blue Lips is awesome. I listened to it 100 times. It was all over my Apple Music Wrapped. I was like, God damn, why did I put this many hours into this album?
Ooh.
So, yeah, Schoolboy Q, Blue Lips. That's mine.
I dig it. Speaking of, it made my honorable mentions.
Let's just run through those
Yeah.
quick, fast, and in a hurry, because I
Okay.
got a couple.
Okay. You go first. We'll go back and forth.
Okay. Father John Misty was on my honorable mentions.
Blue Lips was on mine as well.
I really, really loved Father John Misty's album. I thought it was amazing. It just barely didn't crack the top 5.
Yes.
But it was on there.
Brat, and it's completely different, but also still Brat.
I have Brat on mine as well.
By Charlie XCX.
Yeah.
Huge album.
I think I am gonna stick with the OG version, not the collab one. Or did the collab one?
No. That's the remix album. This one's the one that has the extra songs, like
calm down, man.
like Taste.
No, that's what I'm saying. You're going with the remix one, right?
No. Just the expanded version. Yes.
Did you want to put Sabrina Carpenter on here?
I
too?
showed my hand. Yes, Sabrina Carpenter is on my list as well. Jesus Christ. I'll get into it after.
Okay.
But yes, yes. You wanna guess?
Okay.
Yeah.
I was reminded of the Jack White album because you're number one, so I had to throw it on there.
Okay.
So that's on mine.
People who aren't there anymore. Future Islands.
Oh.
Forgotten album this year, but
Oh, wow.
actually super solid.
Okay.
It had a moment there for me. A couple weeks I was repeat. So, yeah.
All right, Rock Marciano and The Alchemist came out with the Skeleton Key. I mean,
Yeah.
it came out like a week ago, so it just wasn't. It was just too late for me
Yeah.
to be like, is it in my best of
Right.
the year? Maybe, probably. I love it. I love Rock Marciano. It's probably one of my favorite rappers.
Yeah.
But honorable mention.
Tank Idols.
Yeah,
Very
that was a good one.
enjoyable. Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yep.
I have Sturgill's new album. I thought that was great this year.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah,
Damn it.
Yeah.
Yes, it would have been on my list too if I would have
Sturgill's
remembered.
great.
Yes. Speaking of country, Stampede Volume 1, Orville Peck.
Ooh, yeah. Staying in country, I got Zach Bryan's Great American Bar Scene. Great album. That actually almost cracked my top 5.
Oh, that's a good one.
It was pretty close.
Well, she has a couple country-ish songs on here. Sabrina Carpenter, short and sweet.
Okay.
Huge album. One of those that like almost every single song is a single. And she sings her ass off.
Yeah.
Very catchy. I was surprised that I enjoyed it as much as I did. It's actually really good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll listen to it. Probably never. I got Bon Iver's EP on here. Now, I think Justin is probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite, like singer-songwriter of all time.
Yeah.
I love Bon Iver so much. I don't care what you say. Call it what you want. I have all of his albums.
Hey, just relax.
I just love it.
You're
so
in good company.
No, I know. But so I'm a huge fan.
Yeah.
And I know you are too. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to like take the shine of like I love him, you don't love
Oh,
him.
you're talking to the people.
Yes.
I get it.
So but the reason that it didn't crack the top 5 is because like I was just a little disappointed that it was just an E EP.
Yeah. I feel the same way, and that's why I didn't make my list, is that I was disappointed because it felt like it needed more.
Yeah.
Like to really... Because, okay, I'm going to sniff my own ass here.
Yeah.
But...
Sniff.
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 Snarf. If you will.
Snarf,
Snarf.
if you will.
Yes. So, thank you, Bronx Brewery. No, I feel like with a lot of Bon Iver albums, they are like true albums where it helps to listen to them front to back.
Yeah.
Like it's an
Yes.
experience. It's
Yes.
it's a thing that builds on itself. There's ebbs and flows. There's highs and lows. You know, like it's a cohesive piece of media. And it being an EP just kind of it didn't really put air or wind in my sails, I should say. You know.
I mean, well, okay, so like to kind of go back to earlier in his career, for instance,
Yeah.
you got Blood Bank coming after For Emma.
But Blood Bank was incredible.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I mean, Sable is an awesome EP, but Blood Bank came after For Emma, and you're like, you listen to For Emma for the first time, and you're like, I don't know if I've ever been this sad before.
I'm crying.
Like, this is incredible.
Yeah.
Then you listen to Blood Bank, and you're like, oh, no. Now I'm as sad as I've ever been. And then he puts out his self-titled second album,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, he might be the songbird of our generation.
Yeah.
So Sable, I'm hoping that a new album, like a big media push, like
Yeah,
real
yeah.
deal new album is coming soon.
Yeah.
But otherwise, if it's just the 4-song EP, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
It was good,
Yeah,
but-
yeah. I would hope that that's what's happening, and he was just kind of putting those out because they didn't fit the vibe of a full album.
Yeah.
So, okay. Cindy Lee, Diamond Jubilee.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Great album.
Great album.
Great album.
Very long. However, I mean, it is just packed to the brim with great songwriting, just great musicianship.
And the way that they're handling the release of
Yes.
it is really cool, too.
Yes. So
Or was really cool, I guess.
yeah. So I think it deserves a little tip of the hat.
Tip of the hat.
Yeah.
I got the rest of these are just going to be like hip hop albums that I think people need to listen to.
Okay, the rest of mine are technically missed albums, so we can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Vince Staples, Dark Times.
Yes.
If you haven't listened to that, what the fuck are you doing? Vince Staples is probably the most consistent rapper probably in the game right now. He's never put out a bad album.
Yeah. Agreed.
Just straight up, I don't think there's even a debate. Like, you can go back and forth. Like, if you don't like Mr. Morale or if you don't like...
Sure.
Yeah, but Vince Staples, every single album. If you don't like Big Fish,
Oh God.
I have bad words for you. I'm gonna leave it at that, because
Like damn and hell.
and you're a butthead.
Yeah.
If you don't like Big Fish, dude, what's wrong with you?
That's one of the best albums in the last 10 years.
Oh yeah. All right.
Mine is okay. So I should say I was able to listen to these in the past couple of days. So I missed them. They didn't get the threshold like you were saying about some of the ones you were listening to. So the first one is Cartoon Darkness, Animal and the Sniffers.
Oh, dude, they're the best.
So
I
good.
love them
Such a
so
great
much.
album.
They're the best.
Such a middle finger album.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
She's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to the new album, but
It's
everything
so
that I've
good.
heard from them so far is like, this is exactly what I want.
Yeah.
Some like Australian punk.
Yeah.
Just. It's,
Yeah.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. It's got like the yeahs energy.
Yes.
Love
Very
it.
raw, and they have the Australian accents.
Yeah. That was a great Australian accent.
Good day. I worked at Outback. I was able to get that down.
Did
pretty
they
good.
force you to do the accent?
Yeah,
when you were
nar,
hosting?
nar.
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 Probably my most listened to album. It didn't crack the top 5. Only because, like, quality-wise, I don't know if it would have beat anything that I put on the list. But for my own personal enjoyment, it's Action Bronson. Johann
yeah.
Sebastian Bach Lava.
Yes.
I mean, again, another rapper that I just like. I love so much, and I don't think he's put out. Well, I shouldn't say that. He's put out bad albums, but well, not bad albums, but like they're varying degrees of quality.
You can tell when he's trying.
Yeah, and I think on this one he's trying. There are real moments of sonic creativity.
Yeah.
That I don't think he's done in a long time. I
Yeah.
think this one just kind of came out of nowhere, and you're like, what, these weird samples and like weird kind of time signatures of the beats and stuff. Like it
It gets kind of psychedelic.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's a lot of fun.
I think because of who he is, it's getting kind of overlooked.
Yeah.
But I think if he was anybody else, this would be an album that people would be going like, "Oh, that was weird,
Yeah,
and fun, and cool." And
Unfortunately, I think his persona has gotten bigger than his art.
yeah,
And that leads to people overlooking like what he became famous for in the first place.
right.
But
Well, and he doesn't help himself. He kind of music seems to be an afterthought to him a lot of times.
Sure.
So he's always, he comes out with these shoes, and he's got the Fuck That's Delicious thing still going, and like
Olive
he's-
oil.
and olive oil, and like natural wines, and he's doing all this other cool shit. And then out of nowhere, he'll be like, "Oh yeah, by the way, here's a new album," and you're like, "Bro, this shit is just as good as that olive oil you put out."
Right.
So yeah,
Agreed. Next for me is Mannequin Pussy.
Mannequin Pussy.
I Got Heaven.
Great
Fantastic album. Yeah,
Great album.
fantastic album. Lots of female-led rock acts.
Lots of female-led. Period.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good female MCs. That Tierra Whack's album came out this year. I didn't even put it on the list.
Yeah.
I love Tierra Whack.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Mac Homie, rich ass Haitian. If you don't know who Mac Homie is, I don't know what you're doing at this point. He's probably one of the best rappers in hip hop, consistently putting out some of the best albums ever.
Yeah.
Mac Homie's the shit. Rich ass Haitian.
Yeah.
Great album. One of his more commercial sounding albums. Single with K Tronada.
Yeah. There you go.
You can't do much better than that.
Kidding me? Mm-hmm. You kidding me?
No, I am not.
Next up for me is McGee, 2-star.
Oh, that was a great album.
And the Dream Police. Yeah, very, very sonically rich, very diverse, and just a joy to listen to. Good times.
Yeah, McGee was good.
Yeah.
I got Ka, rest in peace.
Oh, yeah.
It is morbidly fitting that this was his last album while he was on this earth plane. It's a fantastic album, and it's very sad that it feels like he was finally starting to... I said this when I think I talked about him when he passed away, but
Yeah.
he's finally getting his just due as one of the best, like, just straight up abstract poet rappers in the game right now, and then sadly passed away. And I think if you want to know what it means to be at like the top of that, on top of your game in that way, that like abstract kind of off kilter kind of weird hip hop in the same vein of like Earl Sweatshirt or Billy Woods or Mike,
experimental, artsy kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I stop short of calling it avant-garde because I don't want it to come across as like pretentious or
completely inaccessible.
Yeah, because it's not. I mean, it is a little hard to get into if your idea of hip hop is the more commercial stuff that's out now. It is a little harder to get into.
Yeah,
but I do think that it's very rewarding. Some of these guys are like incredibly talented.
Yeah,
you know.
Agreed. My last one is Magdalena Bay, Imaginal Disc, an art pop album, and I've never listened to any other Magdalena Bay, but I really enjoyed how earnest and kind of playful it is, while still maintaining like a level of I guess like artsy intrigue that you don't ordinarily hear in a lot of mainstream pop music.
Yeah,
but still very accessible, still very fun. Definitely worth visiting, even if you're not like super into classic pop music. Yeah.
The last one that I had was MJ Letterman's new album. I thought was great. I like him a lot. So, if you have an album that we missed that you believe is the best of 2024, please leave a comment on the YouTube or on the Instagram or wherever you're hearing this or however you're hearing it. Because I really, really would love to hear some new albums that I hadn't heard of.
Yeah.
I want to go back and do some investigating on what's the good shit.
Yeah. The Denzel Curry is pretty good too.
Oh yeah, somebody told me about that one. I hadn't listened to it yet, but I did hear that was a really good album.
And Big X the Plug.
And
was pretty good too.
Yeah. And Boldy James just put out an album like
There's
2 weeks
so much
ago.
music.
I know, man. It's crazy. It like, and I don't like these guys dropping a bunch of shit in the fourth quarter. It's like, how am I supposed to put you on my list?
No. At a certain point, you got to just start like the Oscars just push them to the next year.
Yeah,
you just can't.
Yeah,
we can't. It's
too much, man.
There's no time.
How am I supposed to give you an Oscar? You put out an album in December.
We need review albums ahead of time so we can,
Right. Send us review albums. Send us those download links, baby.
Yeah.
All right. That was music. Let's get into our favorite and or best movies of the year. Now, I'm going to spoil my list a little bit.
Oh, okay.
In so much as my list isn't the best of the year, just stuff that I really enjoyed this year.
That was my entire interpretation of what we're doing here.
Oh, okay.
So,
All right. I
it's
just
not
wanted
the
to.
best.
The only
it's
reason
what we like the most.
The only reason I'm making a caveat now and not from the music one was, number one, I stand on the music ones as like just best albums of the year. But number two, I didn't see enough movies this year to rank them against. So I couldn't say like these are the top 5 movies of the year. These are just
and I will say that doing my movie list is what inspired me in the first place to make a list of movies I missed that I wanted to watch that I think I would enjoy as well.
Yeah. Okay.
So just so people are like, oh my god, you didn't put this thing on it. Didn't see it.
That is exactly the reason why I gave this little caveat. It's like, listen, guys, this list is probably going to be wanting. You know, probably going to be like, I can't believe you didn't say this.
Yeah,
you didn't watch that. No, I didn't. Okay, get over it.
Right,
get over it. I haven't seen Gladiator 2 yet.
You'll be okay. It's fine.
All right, it's not on the list.
It's all right. It's all right.
All right, I'll start this time.
Okay, do it.
So I'm just gonna say, Alien Romulus. Loved it. Yeah.
My man, I'm also number 5, Alien Romulus.
It's just fantastic.
Yeah. We did an entire review on it.
Yes. Fede
Alvarez.
He did his thing, man. He just did his thing with this, and he lived up to the expectations of him being picked to direct this movie.
Yeah.
Fantastic. You know, it's going to stand the test of time, I think, and I hope that it was enough to reinvigorate people's interest in this franchise, because there was rumors that Ridley Scott's going to do a sequel to Covenant.
Yeah.
And Fede might get the helm to do a sequel to Romulus.
We're already getting a TV show.
They're already doing the TV show. So
yeah.
if that pops off the way that I hope it does, we're back in business.
Yes.
You know,
Agreed.
and then maybe all of this renewed energy from Romulus got the people who made Alien Isolation, the video game, the underrated PC game. Well, it was PC, right? It was just
It was on everything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's getting a sequel. That's what this. Yeah, the devs
really?
said that they're working on a sequel to
Cool.
that. Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah,
I know
so-
there's a VR game that just came out too. So like the Alien franchise now is alive and well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
we're
the
back.
PlayStation free game this month is the Alien game.
Yeah,
so-
the tactical Alien game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we're
We're back,
we're
baby.
back, baby.
We're
We're
so back.
We are back.
Yeah. I agree. The only thing I'll add to it is it was really cool to see the fact that Fede Alvarez did not end up just making it a gore fest, because that was the expectation from him.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
just based on his track record. So the fact that he took it seriously and wasn't just like I'm going to make this a just a torture porn movie with tons of blood and gore, and that's going to be it. I feel like a lesser director would have done that.
Yeah.
I feel like a lesser artist would have done that. I feel like the care clearly spent, and I said this on our actual review, setting the setting setting the setting
Setting the setting.
of like how these characters get to this desperation point, and really having that planet really, like, again, I really wish we had more time there to even flesh that out even more, because I love that analog future tech kind of look and feel, and I think he replicated and even I dare say advanced that look and feel from the original Alien movies. So I would be super excited if he were to helm another Alien movie.
I mean,
in
he's
the future.
gotta. He's gotta.
It was a huge success. So
Just
I'm very
lock
happy.
him into the franchise.
Happy about it. Happy
know?
about it. Yeah. So anyway, you go ahead, because mine was also Alien Romulus.
Okay.
My number 5.
So, again, this is not an order. This is just the list. So, like, I would probably.
What are you doing?
Well, because
What are
like
you
I
doing?
said, I don't want to.
That's not the rules.
Okay, well, I would have put Romulus higher. I was
all
just
right.
naming movies,
Well,
but
5. Alien Romulus is my 5.
I think Romulus would probably be like, because I don't think the movies that I'm about to name are not, in my opinion. Well, one of them is.
Okay.
2 of them are.
Okay.
So okay, Romulus would be 3rd,
Okay.
and then 1 and 2. I'll get to 1 and 2.
Well, what about 5 and 4?
5 and 4. I'll give you 5 and 4 right now. Well, 5 I guess would have been It's What's Inside.
It's What's Inside.
So it's a Netflix movie
Okay.
that probably not on the radar of a lot of people. I don't
missed
think
it.
there was like a really big actor in the movie. Andy showed it to me. They watched it randomly, and they were like, "I think you'd enjoy this." So we watched it, and I was like, "This movie's awesome."
Yeah.
So I'll give you the basic premise.
Okay.
It's a bunch of not teenagers, a bunch of like 20-something, like this friend group. They're getting back together. One of them is about to get married. So they've all come back together for this guy's wedding.
Yeah.
And one of the friends, he has disappeared. He's been invited to the wedding. He reappears and he has this box. And so I get like
It's What's Inside.
it's what's inside. He's been working on this experimental scientific thing that nobody knows what's going on, right? He brings the box and he's like, we're going to have fun. This is a great thing, right? So they all plug into the box. And basically what it does is the guy who's manning the machine can put your consciousness into another person.
Oh, okay.
So you get to experience
A
what it's
body
like.
swap.
It's a body swap movie.
Yeah.
But with like a kind of sort of scientific lean to it, as opposed to like a supernatural thing.
They just bump into each other really fast.
Right. And it's more of like a sexy kind of thriller that turns dark really quickly, and I'm not going to
Sure.
give it away, obviously. I was shocked.
Yeah.
Not because Andy doesn't recommend good movies. They do.
Sure.
But it's a Netflix movie, so I was like, okay, let's go into this with like Netflix expectations.
Lower expectations, yeah.
And it was.
Yeah.
It's a really, really good movie. Really fun, really interesting, like take on the body swap genre. And when the twists happen, you're like, you are invested enough to be like, oh no, what are they gonna do?
Yeah.
And then there's multiple twists and stuff. It's a very fun movie, really fun.
Okay.
And I wanted to highlight it. And I know that there's probably like 100 movies that came out that were like better than. I don't know, but then again, I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
The reason I wanted to highlight it because I didn't see a lot of people talking about it, but I do think it's a fantastic movie.
Good.
So
good.
There you go.
Speaking of Netflix movies, my number 4 is Hitman.
Yeah.
Just so enjoyable. We talked about it. We talked about it before
Yeah.
ad nauseum. So I won't again belabor the point. But I think it's just such a fun time. I wish I could say at the movies, but it was a Netflix movie, so didn't have that opportunity. But I think this would have done really well in a full theatrical release. So more people should see it. I think it's great.
I do have Hitman on my list, but I didn't have an order. So I guess I'll just say that it's 4. So It's What's Inside is 5.
Okay, yeah.
Hitman 4.
Romulus 3.
Romulus 3.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Yes. So Hitman, fantastic. Just we talked about it on the pod,
We did.
right?
We did,
Yeah. Okay. Just one of those movies where, again, and I think I made this point on the show, but there's not a lot of movies now that come out that are just you have those quiet moments where actors are just acting, right?
Yeah.
There always seems to have to be something going on.
Yeah.
Something's got to move the plot. There's got to be big musical swings. There's got to be big action set pieces.
Yeah.
And when you get a fun, quirky, just nice thriller, like they used to do all the time, those were there were a lot of moments where actors were just playing off each other.
Yeah, and a really fun concept.
Yeah.
Like that allows for an actor to just have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it for to be a good time. It doesn't have to be that deep. It doesn't have, it has layers to it too.
It's a good vehicle for him to kind of showcase everything that he's good at.
Yes.
And to not just be a pretty face on screen.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with like The Nice Guys. That's a movie that is like you're watching 3 masters at work. Shane Black, Russell Crowe, and Ryan Gosling. Like it's just you're watching masters at work, and but that's another like classic kind of. I would even say more closer to like a late 70s movie than a 90s movie.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
But still, the idea, like you can't quote unquote make movies like that. Sure you can.
You can.
Sure you can.
Yeah.
You don't want to. You don't want to take the risk.
You may not get the money from the studio.
Well, because they're too busy paying The Rock $50 million to do a Christmas Amazon Prime movie.
Yeah.
I saw some article that was like 50 million people watched it when it debuted on Amazon Prime, and it's like, well, yeah, because it's an Amazon Prime movie. You should have paid him $50 million just to be in it. Because people are like, that movie flopped. And it's like, it didn't really flop. It flopped because it cost $300 million to make.
Well, it did release in theaters, right?
It released in theaters,
Yeah.
and it did $172 million. But if that movie cost $50 million to make, it's a massive success.
Yeah.
If The Rock and Chris Evans and J.K. Simmons don't command $20 to $50 million paychecks, you've got a successful Christmas movie on your hands.
Yeah.
But instead, I mean, he doesn't give a fuck. Moana's on its way to doing like $2 billion. So
I don't want to
who
talk
gives
about
a fuck?
it. I don't want to talk about it. He's
Yeah.
just being incentivized to make all the wrong choices.
Right.
I mean, the right choices for him. I'm not going to begrudge the guy for making a living, but it's just getting to a ridiculous point. Okay.
Sorry.
That's fine. That's fine. We're,
Anyway.
it's supposed to be a celebration.
Yeah, it's a celebration, Richard.
It's a celebration.
It's a celebration.
Unity.
I got... Actually, I guess I fucked up the numbers because I have Long Legs on my list, but I have 2 more movies. Jesus Christ.
Was that a jump scare for Long Legs? Well, I still got to give my number 3 because you gave your 3, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, give your 3.
Your 3 is Romulus, right?
Yeah.
So my 3 is, speaking of yet another streaming movie, Oddity.
I thought that came out this year.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I think. I hope. I found
I
out
would
about
have
it.
put it on my list if it, are you sure that wasn't
I found out about it this year, so that's all I'm going to say.
okay.
If
I don't think that's how it works, man.
I watched it this year.
Yeah, it's a 2024 movie.
Thank God.
Okay,
Okay, I had backups just in case, but
Yeah, no, it
Oddity.
actually came out in July, so it came out in the middle of the year. I can't believe that movie came out this year.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
I would have put that on my list.
Yeah.
I have Cuckoo on my list, and Oddity's 10 times better.
Well,
Not to
yeah.
say that Cuckoo's a bad. Sorry, I'm.
It's okay. It's all right. I mean, I feel like
Fuck this up, man.
it's all right. It's okay. It's okay. You know, music is your forte. I understand.
Yeah.
It's all right. So we have our strengths. We have our weaknesses. But yeah, number 3 for me is Oddity. We talked enough about it. I just think it's such a great sort of haunted house movie in a very classical sense, and I think a real throwback to simpler filmmaking, and it has a real purity of horror to it that I hearken. I look to that. It harkens back to this really more boots to the ground kind of horror that resonates more with me than like the CG fests that we often get.
Yeah.
With a lot of the Blumhouse stuff nowadays.
Yeah.
So yeah, highly recommend it. Check it out
Great movie.
on
Great.
Shudder.
Great movie.
Shudder.
It's a great movie.
It's a great movie,
It's
babes.
a great movie. I guess I'll just leave the rest of these on like honorable mentions.
Okay.
Because here's my real top 2.
Okay.
Monkey Man.
I still haven't seen it.
Oh man,
I'm dying to.
so good.
Yeah. Yeah. It looked
Dev
great.
Patel's directorial debut.
Yeah. And also starring.
Also starring. Produced by Jordan Peele.
It was supposed to be a streaming movie.
Yeah, and then
And,
they were like, "Nah, this is
too good.
This is too good."
Yeah.
And it is. It is.
Yeah.
It's like this. It's a really beautiful, really sad movie that also has these moments of like extreme violence. And Dev Patel, whoever he hired to be the fight choreographer, really did a good job.
Yeah.
I just love that it's so culturally an Indian movie.
Yeah.
Like the references to these old folklore, and you know the fact that the characters kind of go back and forth between languages and stuff. And excuse my ignorance, like to understand like it from a to understand the culture from like every aspect.
Sure.
You can tell what you're watching is this beautiful labor of love.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are moments that kind of went over my head because I just don't understand the culture
The
enough.
lore.
Yeah. But you're watching it and you can tell like what the story that he's trying to tell, the
Yeah.
stuff that probably resonated with him as a kid, and he probably had this idea just like, I know that this can work. I just need the money, and I just need somebody to believe in this thing.
Yeah.
Somebody within the machine who can push this thing forward.
Yeah.
And just bare bones, fucking awesome action movie. Just
Yeah.
a really great, and you can tell, and I think he talked about this in interviews, but you can tell he was inspired by Game of Death, the
okay.
unfinished Bruce Lee movie.
Yeah.
Because there are moments where like he's going through this hotel and he's going up the floors, and you're like, this is very Game of Death. So if he wasn't inspired,
Someone's gotta do it.
I would be really, really surprised if he didn't
Yeah.
watch the half of what is,
Quarter, maybe.
the quarter
of a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, Monkey Man's awesome.
Nice. I'm really happy to hear that. It's one of those I meant to get to but haven't, and I'm excited to watch it now.
Yeah.
My number 2 is Furiosa.
Of course.
Yes, movie that unfortunately came out at the wrong time. It seems.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. Pre Inside Out 2, when people were still not going to the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know Inside Out 2 is at $1.7 billion?
It did incredible.
I can't believe it's that successful.
And again,
And everyone was like putting the flowers on the grave of Pixar.
yeah.
Disney.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And then they were like, "Oh, you thought we was dead? How about this movie about this child's emotions? Oh, you didn't like Red? Oh, okay.
Think again. What if she's white and in San Francisco?
Now you like it."
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, all that being said, I enjoyed Inside Out too.
And they didn't even bring back some of the voice actors.
I know, I saw that.
It's crazy.
They asked for too much money, apparently.
Furiosa.
Yes. I think it is going to be along the lines of the rest of George Miller's oeuvre, which is known to be like these midnight or matinee classics that people just don't appreciate enough, but will always have their audience.
Yeah.
Myself included. So I like the stylistic ties go directly from the original Mad Max up until this point. Like it's just such a coherently cohesive universe that is hard to put into words. It's such a visual language that he has, and such a skill that when he's gone is going to be missing from cinema in general. I know I'm getting very frilly on this, but I just think George Miller is one of the best to ever do it.
Very frilly.
Specifically within the action genre. And I think Furiosa was criminally underwatched, and I think you need to go and watch it.
The thing is, though, man, I think you and everyone else will be vindicated at some point.
I bet on it.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for people to go, did you see that movie Furiosa?
Furiosa movie?
That was actually really good.
Yeah. I think your moment in the sun is coming very soon.
Well, and if it doesn't, I am fine sitting here.
No, you're not.
Knowing that Furiosa is a modern day classic action movie. I think it's up there with the rest of the franchise, frankly. I do think there was probably some pushback after the last Mad Max movie was such a success.
Yeah.
That people were like, well, this one's not a Mad Max movie, is it really? Like, it's like a prequel?
There's not
like,
a dude in this.
Right.
There's not a dude who's the Mad Max.
Well, there are plenty of dudes. They're not Mad Max.
But none of them are Mad Max.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the problem.
Right.
We need a dude to root for. And that, you couldn't tell by all the video game announcements. We need a dude.
We need more dudes.
We need more dudes.
A chick that shaves her head?
I can't. I have a lot to say about that, but that'll be next week.
Yeah. There's lots to talk about.
Yeah.
But not here or now. Furiosa, fantastic film. I've droned on enough. Okay. Please watch it.
Because you haven't said it, I feel like our number ones are the same.
Okay. Do you want to go on a count of three?
Yeah.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Dune 2.
Yeah. It's the best movie of the year.
So good.
It was incredible.
Yeah. It's I mentioned that the Jack White album is a miracle of an album. This is a miracle of a film. Especially after reading the book and it being called like an unfilmable book,
right?
Because of its complexity, because of its denseness, because of its rich and deep lore. I was, even with Denis behind it, I was a little apprehensive. You know, if he could land that ornithopter, if you will. But he did, and then some. And I am just so excited for Dune Messiah whenever that may come out.
Yeah.
Because everyone involved with that movie, it feels like they're hitting on all cylinders at the moment.
Yeah.
Everyone is just at the top of their game. And
old Timothy Chalamet, he's doing his thing. He's having himself a year right now.
I tried to tell you.
We'll see if that Bob Dylan movie. Hey, listen, I still think I can beat his ass.
Well,
let's not.
I didn't want to bring it up, but
let's not forget. Okay?
All you said was you could beat his ass.
I can.
Okay.
I still can.
Not at acting.
I mean, nobody's ever given me the
Unless
chance
it's
to be
acting like
in
a
Dune movie. You put me in a Dune movie, and I bet you I could,
Yeah.
I could do my thing.
Sure.
Who's Hal guy? I can do that.
Yeah. You're a brown guy. You're a brown guy with hair. You can
You just whip it around. Yeah, man. Don't tell me.
I'm very dry.
I can play Bob Dylan. I can do it all. I can do that. Okay?
The times are a changing.
Anything Timothy Chalamet can do, I can do better. I can act better than you. That's not even the
No,
rhythm of the song.
no, it's not.
Maybe I can't. Okay.
I can act better than you.
Maybe I didn't go.
Look at this foam. Look at that. Beautiful.
He's great. He's
Yeah.
great.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I still beat his ass though.
It's fine. It's fine.
You can't beat my ass. You
You can't beat my ass.
You can't beat my ass though. All right.
Yeah.
I got some honorable mentions.
Okay.
Long Legs
Me as well.
was in my I mean, one of those like not back to basics kind of horror movies. I've seen some people say that like they don't like the kind of supernatural elements that come about in the.
There has been an unfortunate swing in opinion about Long Legs, and it was already there when it first came out, where people felt like betrayed by the story and like the again, as we talked about, the marketing.
Yeah.
I was not that hurt about it. Like
Me neither.
It was fine. It was good. I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, fuck that. It's a great movie.
Yeah. Civil War for me.
Yes.
I very much. I enjoyed that movie more than I thought I would, actually, because there's a lot of discourse about that one too. Mm-hmm. But to be fair, I saw it on a flight. I was literally a captive audience, but
You couldn't escape.
I couldn't escape. But that being said, I really enjoyed the story. I thought it was a well-told story, an interesting concept. And, you know, a lot of people complain that they don't get into the minutia of, like, how the Civil War happened, how it really kicked off. I don't care. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I think that's a weird nitpick to have for a movie like that is happening, that is taking place right in the middle of all that stuff that's going on, right?
It's purposeful, obviously.
Yeah, and even up until the very end of the movie, it's still kind of left ambiguous as to who are the good guys, who are the bad guys. It's interesting to take for the point of view to be a wartime journalist, because a wartime journalist, that's what they're doing. They're there to document what's happening.
They
They're
have
not there
no
to take
skin in the
sides.
game. Yeah,
right. And so I thought that to me, I'm a little surprised at how many so-called intellectuals were so butthurt about the fact that, like, you know, there were so many unanswered questions. I feel like that's exactly what
the other
want from a movie like
the other
that.
complaint is like, oh, I wish we were following soldiers. It's like, haven't
Why?
you seen that movie a million times?
Yeah, how many times do you need to see that movie?
You know, it's interesting to see a war movie from a different perspective.
Yeah, it was great.
I really enjoyed it.
I got Cuckoo on. I know I said it earlier today.
Yeah.
Or today. Earlier on the episode. But
It's like 10 hours ago. It's crazy.
really like just 10 minutes ago.
10.1% ago.
10 hours and 10 minutes ago. I mentioned Cuckoo. Great
Yes.
movie. Great movie. Have you seen it? You saw it, right?
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, okay.
No.
No,
I
it's
remember
good.
when you told me about it, and I'm still interested in watching it. Yeah.
Strange supernatural movie. I think it's Hunter Schafer is the
Yes.
star of it.
Yep.
And she's fantastic. And I don't know if it's like a star-making role, but it is. I mean, she's incredible in it. So
Yeah.
I think it's great. Great movie. Great movie.
Speaking of just great movies, I really enjoyed Deadpool and Wolverine. Fight me. I don't care. I don't care. I had a great time at the movie theater.
I still need to watch it.
It was fun. It's just a lot of fun. Turn your brain off. Just have a good time. Just be a fanboy for a day.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I mean, as long as the movies are fun, I never have a problem with any of these. That's the thing that people are getting
It's a good
so
time.
wrong about these comic book movies. Is
Yeah.
like, as long as they're, and I think the filmmakers are also getting this wrong.
Yeah.
They're trying too hard.
Yeah.
Just make a fun movie. The Deadpool movies, when people have a problem with them, even when I was seeing people like it looks gray and it doesn't, and it's like,
Shut up.
What are you talking about, man? It's a Deadpool movie.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
the fuck do you want? Jesus
Silly,
Christ.
silly.
It's just so. And people are like, I can't believe that Hugh Jackman, he did Logan and then he came back and just reprised the role. I guess money. It's like, bro, who cares?
Yeah, no,
who cares?
Those are even worse because they're like, they are Marvel fanboys, like with a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah. What do you? Okay, the rest of Hollywood and the rest of the movie going audience didn't even watch Logan. and then you're going to turn around and be pretentious about the movie. Like, now I will say, of course, it was a beautiful
Well, it's a
send off for the
fantastic
character,
movie, yeah.
and he did say that like he wasn't going to reprise the role again. But then when his friend is like, "How about we do a time traveling kind of
But the thing is,
interdimensional thing?"
If you watch the movie, they address all that, and it's part of the joke, and
course
it's part of
they
the
do.
fun.
And the whole thing is a joke.
It's fine. Just
People
have
are just
a good
too angry
time.
about stuff.
Please have a good
You know,
time.
it's just like, calm down, dude.
Yes.
People get
yes.
mad at Ryan Reynolds as a person. I'm like, I don't know.
God.
Why are you so upset?
Relax.
about it?
Relax.
And then my last honorable mention, and this is not a great movie. but
Okay, that's fine.
I had a good time watching it.
Yeah.
Was The Beekeeper.
I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it yet. It's actually, it's a really dumb,
Yeah.
really fun movie. And Jason Statham, I mean, he's just a guy who will do anything apparently.
Yeah, sure.
And he kind of throws everything against the wall and see what sticks. And the stuff that sticks is
It's
great.
the honey.
It's the
Whoa.
Yeah, man, and The Beekeeper it's just a dumb movie, but I mean, I think that he is one of those he's just, I think now you cannot talk about action movies and action movie stars without talking about Arnold, Sly, Steven Seagal, unfortunately.
Sure.
And you got to throw Jason Statham in there
Oh, yeah,
at this
of course,
point. I mean,
of course.
he's done enough, and he's so good. He's one of those guys that like he elevates a bad script, I
Yeah.
think.
Oh, yeah.
And he
got
works
that
with
presence.
really, really bad scripts.
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
Almost exclusively.
And he makes them. It's so funny. The comedian Godfrey, he has an impression where he talks about, he's like, I want Jason Statham to do a movie where he's like the librarian, and he's like, I told you guys to be quiet. And it's like, this appears to be the fruition of that bit.
Yeah.
It's like, he's a beekeeper. What are you talking about?
Some writer saw that bit and was like,
and he's like, I'm
what
just going to
if-
write a whole movie around that.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Fun movie. Fun movie.
Good.
I think it's still on Amazon Prime.
Okay, so I have two more of my honorable mentions, and then I have my list of missed movies, so you guys can't talk shit. Okay?
Okay.
So the two that I have is Rebel Ridge.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Forgot about that one.
Fantastic action movie. And A Quiet Place Day One. Another movie I saw
Saw
on
that
flight.
on a lot of top lists.
It's one of those movies that is far better and far better acted than it has any right to be, being a prequel of a series that's now gone 2 movies in. I mean, just a showcase for everyone involved, really.
Yeah.
It is so good and scary and interesting, and it goes places you wouldn't expect it to. And I'm excited to see where this filmmaker takes his career next. I will say that. Now, I have my missed movies, so people can't talk that we don't know what we're talking about. Okay? Wicked. The Substance.
Yeah.
Evil Does Not Exist, which is the movie by the director of Drive My Car. Apparently really good. Gladiator 2. I know you've seen Maxine, but I have not.
Oh, yeah, Maxine.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it in my top 5.
It's fine.
It's good. It's good, but I wouldn't put it in my top 5.
I've heard that pretty much all around. Hundreds of Beavers, which is actually on YouTube for free now.
What?
I hear it is actually a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
Hundreds of Beavers. It's apparently like a slapstick, almost like Looney Tunes-ish comedy.
Sounds like my Friday night.
Yeah.
Hundreds of beavers.
Slapstick on hundreds of beavers, am I right?
Slapstick on
Any hooser. Nosferatu, not out yet. I have high hopes.
Well, you can't put that in there.
Well, it comes out this year, so I don't want people to be like, next year, look at this list and be like, they ain't put Nosferatu on there, are you crazy?
Well, that's because they're stupid.
That's
if they
true.
Think that.
I saw the TV Glow. Another movie I've heard very good things about that I haven't seen. The Brutalist, which has just come out recently. Challengers, haven't seen. And
I heard Challengers is really good.
Me too. And Smile 2.
I still need to see the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was watching, or rather, Brad was watching Smile in the living room, and I was like doing something, and I would just like pop in back and forth. And you can obviously, like jump scare movies always have like the swell. They got to build the tension. And
I need to tell you something.
Okay.
You keep saying that story. I was there.
What?
I was there.
No, you weren't.
I was.
And the first time I watched Smile?
When Brad and Lottie were watching Smile, I was there.
No. This is a different. Okay, this was Smile. Sorry, this was Smile 2.
Ah, okay.
Sorry. You're right. This is a different story.
I was gonna start freaking out and think I astral projected into your body.
So this was recent because Lottie's been out of town and he was in there by himself,
just watching Smile.
Dude, he's a weirdo, bro. He's a weirdo, son. We'll be at work, right? And like you got to do roll-ups.
The man with horror tattoos is watching a horror movie by himself,
but he'll just watch it. Like the other day, he was just watching. So he hadn't finished it, right? That's why he was watching it in the living room. When he had started it on his phone while he was doing roll-ups.
Brad,
no,
what are you
dude,
doing?
he watches these movies like you would watch like a
YouTube video.
yeah, like you would put on like a streamer doing something or like some silly like Danny Gonzalez video or something.
Yeah.
That's how he watches horror movies.
Man.
And like I come around the corner,
you got to fit them in somehow, I guess.
I guess because if you feel like you have to watch them, like,
I feel compelled.
To me, I do feel compelled to watch them, but in a time and place. Lights off.
Yeah.
Couple of people around. I can't watch them by myself. I've been wanting to watch Smile 2, and it keeps popping up on my thing, and that dumb creepy smile.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nah, I'm not.
Sherry hates the poster.
It's a creepy poster. It's creepy.
Yeah.
Don't like it.
Jack Nicholson's son doing what he does best.
Yes, very creepy.
Yeah.
So, but I did see, but there was one jump scare that got me, and I was like, fuck this movie.
It's just in passing.
Yeah, just in passing. I was in the kitchen. I think I was like cleaning the kitchen or something. Yeah. And then you can kind of hear the music swell, and you know something's coming. So then it like
your
draws
hackles start
your
going up.
Yeah. So I came around the corner to look at the TV, and sure enough, it was just one of those. And I was like, God damn it! I was like, you know what? Fuck this. Why am I even doing this to myself?
I don't like this.
So I do want to watch those movies. Smile 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Back to back.
Agreed.
Back to back.
Agreed.
Is that it? Do you have any more?
That's all I got.
Okay.
Yeah. Unless you have any others that you want to add to the Don't Yell at Us list. That's all I got.
I don't think there was anything else that came out that was so... I mean, I know there's a bunch of like indie movies that came out that people are like, you need to watch this.
Yeah.
Watch that.
There are a couple of those that I did not include on the list because I feel like, unless you're, really in the know, you're not going to really care.
Yeah.
But,
You need to watch this. You need to watch that.
Yeah.
You better watch this. You better watch that. I don't know. Hold on.
I enjoyed Beetlejuice. That was a good movie.
Beetlejuice.
It's a fun time. Fun time at the movies.
All right. If you just Google best movies of 2024, you get Heretic.
Oh, The Heretic. Yeah.
That movie with George Clooney and Brad Pitt that nobody saw. Wolves.
My old
Oh,
ass.
I did watch Trap.
I didn't watch Trap. How was it?
It sucks.
Yeah,
I see people talking about it and they're like, it's dumb fun. I think it's just dumb.
I heard the conjecture that you have to kind of be like in the mind, the headspace for it, I should say. And I was like, that's a bad sign.
See, when people have to give you those kind of caveats of like, you have to be ready for it.
Yeah.
Like, do I, or is it just not a good movie? That's weird to be that
just a bunch of red covers. Yeah.
Blink Twice, Smile 2, The Pitch, The Instigators, Dear Santa. In a Violent
Nature.
That was one that I still need to watch, but I really want to watch.
Pretty fun movie.
This movie,
Venom?
The Venom. The Venom movie. Do you know how successful this movie is?
The Muffin Man? No.
Okay, it's got a 41% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. Okay.
So nothing to write home about.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you its box office though.
Okay.
You're gonna love this. So far, it's one of the most financially successful movies of the year.
I don't like that.
Its budget was between 110 and 120 million dollars. It made so far $475.6 million. It is the 9th highest grossing film of 2024.
Why do they keep doing this?
In fact, it was the lowest grossing in the entire trilogy and still the 9th best of the year.
Okay, so this was like people going, well, we saw the other two. We have to go see the third one.
I think so. I think
Yeah.
that was the big play here.
I mean, okay, so it makes sense when you think about it, really.
well, and it's also still in theaters. So that's the other thing.
Seriously.
You can
That's
still go
crazy.
watch it right now.
Yeah, no, I think that makes a lot of sense, actually, now that I think about it. Because the name Venom does a lot for people. So that brings them in initially.
And Tom Hardy.
Especially with Tom Hardy, yeah.
Yeah.
For the first one. And then people are like, that wasn't very good, but maybe the second one will be better.
And it wasn't.
And it wasn't. And then they're like, well, we're 2 in. We might as well
Right, we
finish
might as well
the
watch them all.
trilogy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Checks out. Checks out. I'm not mad at you.
You did say that you watched the Joker movie. We talked
did.
about that off mic.
Joker Folie à Deux?
Folie à deux.
Yeah.
Yeah. You wouldn't put that in your honorable mentions?
No. So okay, look, there has been something tickling the back of my brain about this movie.
Okay.
That I need to express. I need to get it out.
All right. I'm excited about this.
Look, I think it's a bad movie. I think it's bad. I don't think it's good.
But
But
it's always a but.
it is a definite FU movie from the creators, and I have a soft spot in my heart for FU movies. You know that.
I do know that. Yeah.
So you can very clearly tell that the Joker is a stand-in for Todd Phillips.
Yeah.
And he is sharing his disdain for the reception that his first movie got from fans. Mm-hmm. People loving it, people loving the Joker, people loving that character. And you could clearly tell he was like, no, that's not what I wanted. I wanted you guys not to like him.
Yeah.
I want it to be more complex than that. And it's just...
But he's not talented enough to pull that off.
I agree. However, the fact that he made this movie, I think, fueled by disdain for his audience, makes it a more interesting movie than you would think. It's
Yeah.
not just a bad movie. It is a movie that is made interesting by the creator's false sense of accomplishment, of talent. And I in hindsight, almost appreciate it for those qualities.
Yeah.
I saw John Waters review it, famous director, John Waters.
Yes.
Queer icon. And he loves it. He's like, yeah, no, he was like,
Always, yeah.
he was like, you pretentious critics got this one wrong. Like, it is actually a brilliant film that will in time be appreciated. And he said some other funny things about it. But I do think it at very least isn't boring. It just isn't good.
Yeah.
So I will say, if you are in any way curious about it, go ahead and watch it. I don't think it's a waste of time. I think it's an interesting movie.
Yeah.
I'll give it that. I think it's interesting that somebody had enough gall to spend that much money on something that is essentially the opposite of a vanity project.
Yeah.
You know? So I can't help but have a little bit of appreciation for that kind of moxie.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
A guy who's like, you guys don't get it.
Yeah.
Screw this. I'm gonna burn the whole place down.
Yeah.
And that's very clear from the movie itself. So I'll give it that. It's not a good movie, but it is an interesting movie. I will say that. Okay. I think it's more interesting than the first one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first one was not interesting.
No.
I'm just going through a lot of these movies that came out this year. A lot of stuff kind of came and went. I don't think people realize. That Crow movie did end up coming out, I guess. You can watch it on Apple TV right now for $6.
Wonderful.
It has a 22% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Hey, no thanks.
I will not waste my time on that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, a movie like that, I think, is a waste of time.
Yeah.
Because it's so clearly, like, just uninspired and listless, and it's just going to be boring.
Yeah.
Joker 2 is not that. I will give it that.
You got this movie Killer Heat that came out.
Killer Heat.
It's a mystery movie. It's only an hour and a half. It has an 18% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay.
It's
Good
stars
start.
Shailene Woodley and our boy Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh,
Too bad for
JGL.
him. Yeah.
Whoopsies.
Whoopsies. You got Daddy's Head, which apparently people really enjoyed.
I heard good things about that one, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Horror movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
85% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
You've got Halle Berry's Never Let Go, which, you know, who knows what she's...
Yeah, what's she up to?
It's also a horror movie.
Okay.
I'll give you the synopsis.
Okay.
When an unspeakable evil takes over the world, the only protection for a mother and her twin sons is their house and strong bond. Needing to stay connected at all times, even tethering themselves with ropes, they must cling to one another and never let go. However, when one of the boys questions if the evil is real, the ties that bind them together are severed, triggering a terrifying fight for survival. So that's Never Let Go.
You had to actually like tie them with string.
They literally are tied together. Never
the
let
ties
go.
that bind.
The
Yes.
ties that bind.
Yes. Okay.
Beetlejuice is also in here.
Yeah, it was good. Fun.
So yeah,
Fun movie. I did hear there was one movie. It was like a semi-indie movie that was. A lot of people were saying was Tarantino-esque. You guys can let me know what it is. I forget the name of it, but it's a female-led movie about her like trying to escape this like abusive asshole, but it's like sort of an action thriller.
oh,
That's very like stylized. Forgetting the name.
that's cool.
I heard good things about Nora too.
Yeah,
Speaking
yeah.
of,
Nora was another one.
female-led
Yeah.
drama. Yeah. So
A lot of movies.
tons of
lot
movies. Hundreds of beavers.
Hundreds of beavers.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. It's hundreds of beavers.
Hundreds of them.
Okay. I think we've covered the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let us move on. Move on unto our final category, in which Adam will probably take over most of this. I mean, I have literally a couple of games that I played this year.
You give me your opinions about my picks, and you can chime in on, if I miss anything that you enjoyed.
There you go.
Okay.
So without further ado, the games of the year according to Obesius.
Number 5, Black Ops 6.
Yeah, that would have gone on my list probably.
Good time. It's good time. I'm not too big to say that I enjoyed a Call of Duty game in the year 2024.
Call of Duty and Bonnie.
They came back with something pretty
Can't
good.
believe the game.
Have you played the campaign yet?
No.
Okay. Well, can't talk about that then. But I think it's one of the strongest campaigns since Modern Warfare Remake 1.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. Number 4. A game I just played and beat. Mouthwashing.
Yeah. Wow.
PC indie game. Yeah. It's not a long game. It's like
yeah,
maybe
but no,
like
I'm saying just throwing that in on the
yeah,
list.
yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't a question of if it would make the list once I beat the game. It was like where it would land.
Yeah.
And I think I was conservative with it because I didn't want it to. Okay. What?
The joke landed even though she was just reading the captions. The joke landed.
No, that's not what it was. I remembered Adam's YouTube.
Come here. People can't hear you. Come here. Speak in the mic.
I'm laughing because yesterday I was on YouTube and I was on Adam's YouTube.
On my YouTube.
On his YouTube, and I was searching for something, and in the search history it said, what is mouthwash? And I said, haha, you know what mouthwash is? Gross! And I didn't know what he was talking about. And then he explained it was the game, and I just remembered that interaction, and that's why I started laughing.
It was mouthwashing explained.
It's even better!
Because there's lots of interpretations of this game storyline.
You never heard of crust, my guy?
I can tell. P.U.
I'm going to swig a little bit of that.
Stinky.
Stinky.
All right, get out of here. Get out of here. Yeah. That was pretty
That was
good.
really good.
It's good. I'm glad we had this detour. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so mouthwashing.
Yeah, mouthwashing.
It's a great game. It's very dark, goes very dark places, but very well told in this retro PS1 style look. I would classify it as like a horror, sci-fi, drama, mystery.
Okay.
Pretty linear, but it's there to tell the story it's telling, which I appreciate. It doesn't waste your time. It's told in ironically, in unlinear timeline. So like you get different pieces of the story as you go along.
Yeah.
Tarantino-esque. Great writing, great characters, and just a really good experience. A la like Gone Home, like it's not exactly a walking simulator, but it's along those lines. But
Okay.
a very, very great game. I'd recommend it to a lot of people. Trigger warning though, it goes dark places. My number 3, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Yeah.
Just the fact that we're getting these remakes of one of the best games of our childhood is just like a gift that keeps giving.
Yeah.
I've been so impressed by what they've done with both remake and rebirth so far. The soundtrack alone is like, it's worth the $70 just on face value. I am incredibly impressed by the way that they've modernized the game, both in gameplay and characters have gotten much deeper because you have more time with them. A lot of people, it was controversial that they decided to break it up into at least 3 parts, but I get it now.
I remember hating that idea.
Yeah.
And now, just having played both of them, not beating both of them, but having played them enough to understand, there is a lot of story to tell.
Yeah.
In both of these, in the way that they've broken them up is like, all right, I get what we're doing here. I'm with you.
Yeah, they decided to go far deeper in each of these sections of the game that are in the original game. So, I have full...
Just thinking about jumping on the mic and being like, you ever heard of Crest, my guy? So stupid. Unbelievable.
It's fine.
You shouldn't have allowed her to do that.
No, she wanted to. I had to let her.
Sorry.
Happy
Go ahead.
girlfriend,
Go ahead.
happy life.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Just a great continuation of what they've already started with remake.
Yeah.
Couldn't be happier with it. I'm so excited for them to hopefully land it in the final chapter.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. I have faith. Number 2, actually my most played game according to PlayStation, with their they do what everybody does nowadays, all the streamers and stuff.
Yeah, they give you
your little
recap
report
thing.
Yeah. So the game I played the most in this year was Persona 3 Reload.
No shit. What? Persona.
It takes a game that was already a classic and a lot like Rebirth, just makes it even better. But in this game, it is much more streamlined. It takes the idea of turn-based combat and makes it just that much easier to access. It's one that makes the barrier for entry for a JRPG that much lower, while maintaining the classic gameplay style of having to choose, your attacks or whatever. There's a button actually that you can press that it essentially brings you to what the best move would be at the given moment, which I think is just so brilliant for a game to do.
Yeah.
Of this kind, that otherwise it would have felt archaic. And in this one too, you can see the enemies and avoid them if you like, so it's not just random battles that you have to get into all the time, like a classic Final Fantasy game or a Pokemon game.
Yeah,
that a lot of people nowadays don't really have the guts for. You know, to just walk around and suddenly every 10 steps you take.
Yeah.
So all those things add. I mean, the soundtrack. Are you kidding me? The presentation. It's just one of the best looking games of this generation. It's a remake. Love it. Can't recommend it enough. If you've never played a Persona game, jump in here, please. And my number one game,
Astrobot.
Astrobot.
It had to be. You didn't say it. It had to be Astrobot.
It's Astrobot. Yeah.
The game of the year, according to the Video Game Awards.
And I have to agree. A lot
of controversy that came from this.
Yeah.
We talked about it being nominated in general.
Yeah.
You thought it deserved it.
Mm-hmm.
I was on the fence, although I wasn't like against it being nominated. I was on the fence of it winning.
Sherry sneezed again.
I was on the fence with it winning. And I'll just say, now that I've seen the reaction to it winning, I hope that they make 6 Astrobot movies or games.
Yeah.
And every
And a
year-
movie.
And a movie. And I hope that every year Astrobot wins Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Because that'll teach you fucking people, you shitty, douchebaggy video game nerds, to just sit down and enjoy something for once in your life.
Is it okay to just have fun?
No, apparently not.
Is it okay to relive your childhood and just have a simple yet simple looking yet complex platformer game to enjoy that's cartoonish and celebrates PlayStation? Like,
The guy who made, and this has kind of turned me off from even getting the game, the guy who made Wukong,
yeah,
he's been going off for the past couple of days.
rough.
Like, I can't believe that we didn't win. It must be rigged because we didn't win. And it's like, dude, you made a good game that people loved. You made a game that was so beloved that people were like, you deserve to win. It's bullshit. Take that as a dub.
Yeah.
Take that and go, the fans, you won Best Action Game, you won People's Choice or whatever,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just accept those two things and be like, you know what? The people have spoken and said that this was the best game of the year. We don't need the accolade of like. And by the way, just for everybody's edification, the Video Game Awards have been going on for like what, 15 years? It's not even that. They're meaningless. They still haven't got it down to a science.
I wouldn't say they're meaningless.
I would say they're meaningless because I just said it.
You did. They mean something to the people who win them, but it's not the end all be all. They made plenty of money on that game. That they got awards for their game.
Yeah, people loved it. What are you complaining about?
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
It's really sad to see.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate response from both. The creators, some of the creators, I won't lump them all in, but some of the creators and, the general video game nerds, especially the ones that have an axe to grind, specifically with like Western censorship and woke agendas. We're not going to get into it. This is not the episode for that. Not the time. Astrobot is a celebration of all things PlayStation, and therefore being a celebration of a lot of our childhoods and just a simpler time of gaming, and really brings us back to basics while expanding on this tried and true format of the platformer. And it's a beautiful game, lots of references to stuff we love, and really inventive and just fun and accessible. It was like from the time I got it, like my escape game. When I was too tired of playing a super dense RPG or trying to grind in Call of Duty, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna play some Astrobot.
Jump back into some Astrobot.
Let me just have some fun. Let me just collect some stuff.
Yeah.
And I am proud to say I 100%ed it. I got the platinum on it, and it was a great time.
I think that people who don't understand, it's one of those games that harkens back to just being a fun platformer.
Sure,
like
a 3D platformer.
If you can't understand that this is where video games started, and to do something that kind of harkens back to that classic idea of, here is the objective. Now have as much fun as you can while completing the objective, as opposed to like super deep, narrative driven, brutally like, dude, take it down a notch,
Sure.
man.
Not everything
Relax.
has to be like photorealistic. Not everything has to be The Last of Us.
And
or
cutesy games
Wukong.
can just be like cutesy fun, and also like maybe the best game of the year because it's just like it's that much fun.
Well, 'cause
it's a
it's-
video game. You're supposed to have fun.
That's what a lot of people I feel like get lost in the sauce is like. Sure, video games can be these cinematic experiences. They can be these thought-provoking experiences. They can be these, even like stressful, troubling experiences, or tests of your skill, or they can just be a good time.
You know, when you play a game like Fall Guys or Gang Beasts or Astrobot,
Pong,
you
know, go back to the beginning. Like
when
these
you play
games were
these
supposed
games,
to be
you're like,
fun.
this is you. I think a lot of people have kind of lost sight of the fact that like that is a genre in and of itself. Is here is just a fun video game,
mechanically solid, fun game.
and to that point, a perfectly done game.
I agree.
No weird microtransactions. No weird
Everything
like,
in the game, everything you can collect is in the game.
it's just in the game.
Yeah.
Now I
It's in
will
the
say
game.
I will say that the one thing that like even gave me pause the first time that you showed it to me was the fact that it felt, and it still feels like, a advertisement for Sony. And like when you get the PlayStation 4, for instance, you had that built-in game, and I think the PS5 also has like the
PS5 had the demo basically of what Astrobot became.
and
that VR has its own separate Astrobot game.
And so that stuff, from a, I guess, capitalistic standpoint, you could kind of maybe levy a criticism of, well, this is the game of the year, but it's also basically a big commercial for Sony games.
Sony, yeah.
I get that.
I understand that. I understand that too. But you'd have a better argument, I would say, if those games featured weren't so beloved. And the systems featured and the love letter to this company wasn't also a love letter to the things that I grew up with, you know, as a fan of Sony's consoles since the PlayStation 1. Those things all, you know, hit me in the heart a little bit. Like it was
real to me, damn it.
It's real to me, damn. Like, you know, obviously, I'm not so lost that I'm like, oh, you know, it's so touching that they have a PlayStation in there. Yeah. Oh my God, it's my childhood.
Is that your Patrick Warburton?
Yes, it is.
They have a PlayStation.
They have a PlayStation.
believe they have a PlayStation.
That means something to me. No, it's not that. It's just that the way that they send up these things and the references to them, it's done in a way that is in a celebratory perspective and does make you feel like it's not just a commercial. It is also telling sort of the story of this lineage.
Yeah.
And I've listened to, I've gotten deep. Okay, I've listened to interviews with the developers of this game, and they, two video game journalists, you know, to their, not benefit. What's the word I'm looking for? To their, Sherry, help me. To their.
What's the context? I'm sorry.
To these video game journalists. No,
No, it's the opposite of that.
yeah. To like their respect is what I'm trying to say.
It's
But not-
like their benefit of the doubt.
yes,
kind of.
to their point.
To their strength?
Everyone at home is screaming right now.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just move on.
okay. Yes, to their point, I will say, they did ask the question of like, why did you guys choose to make this PlayStation centric? To their benefit.
Yeah, I guess that works.
To their benefit. To their benefit.
To their benefit.
Okay. We're moving on. But yes, they
To their benefit.
they did ask that question, and the team responded basically by saying like, we had a serious conversation about like if we're going to make this a PlayStation focus thing or if we're going to make it its own thing, because even in some like glowing reviews, people are like, why don't you separate from PlayStation and just make it like a good platformer?
Do you think that the charm, though, do you lose the charm because it's not a, because part of it, and I was telling Brad about the game, and I was like, hey, man, you're an Xbox guy. You wouldn't get it. And I think he got like a little mad about it. I think he got a little like, I think he took that a little personally, but like, but he didn't grow up on PlayStation games. So like there was most of the references in the game, like he wouldn't get.
Yeah.
Not to say that like he couldn't understand them.
Sure.
But he wouldn't get them.
He knows like Metal Gear and, you know.
I don't think he does though.
He has to know about it.
I mean, I know he knows what it is, but he didn't have a PlayStation when he grew up. So he didn't beat Metal Gear 1 through 3.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? He didn't get to a PS4, and then when they made Metal Gear Solid 4, they were like, you that feeling of going, oh my God, old Snake.
Right.
And having like
Boss.
that fight at the top where you and Old Liquid, and like
this sounds ridiculous if you don't know what we're talking about.
But it means something to me,
damn it. Yeah.
And I think that that's important, and it's the same way that I wouldn't criticize somebody who, or I wouldn't take it personally if somebody was like, you don't understand Gears, you don't understand Halo, like, because I didn't play those Xbox games. I wasn't like an Xbox guy. I got an Xbox 360, but I didn't do a lot of the Xbox like exclusive games.
You weren't a Halo guy.
I wasn't. So when people like when he talks about, or when anybody talks about like the Master Chief, or I'm sorry, the Halo TV show, and they're like, I can't believe what they've done to this TV show. I can only
Master Cheeks, am I right? It's funny.
I can only believe the fans of Halo when they tell me that it's a bad TV show. You know what I'm saying? So in the same regard, this game is a love letter to Sony. If you remove that aspect, do you think that it is as fun, as rewarding, as good, just straight up as good without that?
I think it is.
That is a question I pose to you.
I think it is. I do think it loses something without that frame of reference. But it is mechanically sound. It's fun. It's rewarding. Even if it was just random like costumes you got or random skins for your spaceship, like I feel like the mechanics are good enough, and the sort of like the gameplay of it all pays off in a way that is inherently rewarding and fun.
Yeah.
So it's not just that, but yes, I will concede it is enhanced by the fact that I grew up playing PlayStation games. Like that was my console.
Yeah.
Like, it was my first console. That wasn't my brother's that I was playing.
Right.
Which were the Nintendos.
It's so funny. That's exactly what happened with me.
Yeah.
Well, it was the...
But you got Sega.
I was Sega, yeah. So my brothers had the Sega games, and that was... But the first time that it was my console, it was PlayStation. Yeah.
So it's around the time that we came around, that we were old enough to like, ask our parents to get us a PlayStation, and it was cheap enough at the time.
Yeah,
you get the bundle pack,
with
like another controller and a memory card maybe, and the demo disc. Forget about it,
dude. Forget about it. Yeah, man. Man, what a time to be alive.
Good times. Good times.
I miss that shit, man.
Me too.
So much.
My parents did the classic like, well, that's it. Like that's all the gifts.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's great, guys. Thanks. And
they wheeled
wait a
it out.
minute. There's one more thing behind the couch.
Santa forgot about this one.
I freaked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I tell you?
Out.
My dad woke me up one day, and I guess he just like, I don't know if he got like a bonus from selling cars or something, but he just woke me up one day and he
Just
was like,
waterboarded you.
no, seriously, and he was like, you wanted that PlayStation 2, right? And I was like, yeah. He was like, let's go get it. So we just straight up went to the store. And he just, it wasn't my birthday. It wasn't Christmas. He was just like, I guess he just had enough money.
I got it.
And he knew that I wanted it.
Yeah.
And he was just like, let's go get it now while I still have this money.
Yeah.
And just got it. And he was like, there you go. This is the greatest day of my life.
Thanks, Dad. Yeah, shut up.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, I never saw him again. Nah, he's still around. I love my
Dad, please comment.
I mean, he will. He will.
Oh, he certainly will. If he watched. Yeah. We're far too liberal for him. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, there's one drawback. Okay. Yeah. All right. Do you have any like honorable mentions for video games?
I do.
Okay, let's get into them.
Okay, so Blatro.
Fucking Balatro.
Don't laugh.
Man.
Don't laugh. It's a great game.
Apparently.
It's a fantastic game. Like it's one of those that sinks its teeth into you. It's everywhere because it's super like, you know, it's super easy to render on any device you have, including your phone.
Yeah.
And it's just based on poker. So if you know the rules of poker, and even if you don't, super easy entry point for poker.
Okay.
Animal Well.
I've never heard of that.
Big Mode Games' first game published.
Animal Well.
Yeah. From Donkey. Video game Donkey.
No shit.
Published it, yeah.
Oh, very
His
cool.
publishing company, Big Mode.
Good for him.
Yeah. It's been getting awards, and a lot of people love it, and I think it's a great indie game. Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
Wait. Before you move on, just give us like a small synopsis.
Okay, so you are like a little ball, essentially. And it's this very like, it's like a probably like Sega Genesis look to it. And it's a 2D game where it's like a platformer that you're trying to get. It's an open world platformer. So you get different like power-ups, but you can get them in any order you want. And there are obstacles and hazards and animals that you can, I think, basically like get sucked into and kind of become them. So it's very mechanics based. Very old school, kind of, you know, think like in the style of Shovel Knight.
Okay.
Similar to that. But like an open world version of that where you can go anywhere you want. A little like Mega Man, but you don't even have to like choose your level. Mm-hmm. It's just one big open level. And it's a maze underground. And great soundtrack, you know, cool graphics, very retro, and a lot of fun. And you can, it's another one of those that I would play as like sort of I kind of want to just like chill. Let me see where I get into an Animal Well.
Yeah.
You know, and just kind of explore, have fun, find puzzles and figure it out. Great game.
Okay.
Great game.
Okay. Cool.
Next one is UFO 50, a game we played together.
Yeah.
50 games.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Yeah. All made by different indie developers that are prominent. And just a lot of fun and such a smart idea.
Yeah.
Like
really
just a
good
brilliant idea. Providing 50 games that are like supposed to be quote unquote like imaginary games that were lost to time.
Yeah.
You know, starting from like the most basic to, I don't know, what would you say, like SNES maybe, or like the newest, the last games that came out on NES, I would say is probably like where the technological advancement went to.
Like the top of the line graphics at like 1992 or 3.
Yeah. Something like that. So
yeah, fantastic. And the idea of letting a developer go, like telling a developer like make a game that looks like it was from 1988 that no one ever played before, but
you give them an assignment of like, these are your limitations.
Yeah.
Make whatever you want in this style.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
A lot of fun. A really cool like exercise for developers and fun to play.
Yeah.
Another one's Helldivers 2.
Oh man, I guess I could have come up with like at least 3 at this
Could
point.
have gotten a couple.
I could have done a list.
If you tried.
Well, the thing is, I didn't want to. Okay, here's before you continue. My thing on this was I didn't want to just do a list of these are
games
the
you
5
played.
games. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I was like, this doesn't. It seems just not thought through enough to warrant making a best of list. It
I know.
You know.
Busting your balls.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, Helldivers 2
Helldivers
just had
2.
such a moment and was, kind of like reinvigorated with a recent surprise update. And
Have you played it yet?
No, I have not. I do plan on playing
Might
it.
have to jump back in there.
Yes.
We got to do Rivals together though.
I've been waiting for
Have you been playing it though? Have you been playing it?
No.
Have you touched it at all?
Not at all.
Okay, well we're not going to be able to go into competitive. Clearly,
Oh, you're already in competitive?
yeah, yeah.
I'll work my way.
Look,
Look,
I just started though. I just started,
Okay,
so I'm
okay.
only bronze 1. I'm trying to get into silver.
the
Like,
reason
it's not,
the
I
reason
just
why
started.
I haven't touched is because I am intimidated, and I would like to know like what's a good starter character.
Yeah.
What should I wet my feet with?
Yeah, okay, I got you. I can be your Sherpa.
Yes, give me some guidance, and I can on my own get to competitive level, and then we can jump in together.
Well, we can do quick play. We can just do a bunch of quick play games.
I don't need your pity. That being said, my other game on here that gets an honorable mention is Indica. Indie game where you play. It's kind of a puzzle horror drama game, where you play as a nun.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
You talked about this.
It's really trippy and really interesting, and it goes really weird places. But I love it because it feels like an A24 movie.
Yeah.
Indica, I think it's going to be forgotten to time, but I think that more people should know about it. So here's my plea. Play Indica. It's on PlayStation. You can play it on PlayStation.
There you go.
Next one is Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection. Great collection of games. The one that I was most surprised by was probably the original Marvel vs. Capcom, because I came up on Marvel vs. Capcom 2 being my favorite. And I love that game. And it was like a game I played relentlessly. I had a Dreamcast, speaking of Sega. I eventually moved on to Sega.
Yeah.
And I loved MVC 2
Yeah.
and 3
Yeah.
as it went along. But I never played Marvel vs. Capcom, the original Marvel vs. Capcom. It is... I mean, it may be better than MVC 2. It is so good. So good.
Okay.
Yeah. I love it. That plus the Punisher side-scrolling beat-em-up,
Yeah.
those two alone are worth your price of admission alone.
Yeah.
So, highly recommend. If you're even curious, if you've played it in the past and you're like, I used to like MVC2, get this collection, and it has that and more. You may be surprised by how much you enjoy it. Okay, so now I have my missed games that I haven't played yet, but I want to play. So, Mario Party Jamboree.
Okay.
Would love to play it. Don't have it.
Yeah.
Haven't played it. I'm sure we'll love it. Marvel Rivals.
Yeah.
Heard great things. College Football 25.
Yeah.
When it first came out, I was like, I'm getting this game. I didn't get this game. But, it's apparently the best-selling sports game. Like, period.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the first time in years that it's come out. So.
Well, and also most sports games suck
It's true.
right now.
It's true.
So
Yeah, it's fair. And one final one, Metaphor Refantasio. I
Yeah.
have it. I have the game.
yeah.
I just haven't found time for it yet. So I will get to it. I played a little bit of the demo. I love it. I have full faith in the game because it's made by the same people who did Persona 5. So that's all I got for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Beautiful list. Some stuff that we can get into.
Yeah.
Marvel Rivals. I'm telling you, the most fun I've been having so far.
Nice.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
Okay.
All right. So that was our best of 2024.
Yeah.
Again, if you guys have any debates, any arguments, or if we missed anything and you feel like we need to put them on our list, please let us know, because I'm very interested in new video games to play, new movies to watch, and new albums to listen to.
Yeah. We're not even trying to fight. We just want to know.
No, I just want to, put me on, dog.
Please.
Put me on. Put me on. Otherwise, I feel like this whole episode is a Cheers of the Week. Did you have something planned, or did anything that you wanted to talk about?
I mean, the only thing I want to say is that, like, I've spent this year, which is why I'm surprised that my my most played game is Persona 3 Reload, honestly. I've spent this year trying to get up to date with the Yakuza franchise.
Yeah.
I'm officially on Like a Dragon, the first one.
Okay.
Not the one you got me. That's the next one. But the first one. And it's just like it has become one of my favorite, like, things in general. Like, it's just in general. Like, I am a complete evangelist for Yakuza now. Like, it is one of the best franchises of anything. Movies, TV shows, games, obviously. It is just one of the most complete feeling worlds that I've experienced. It is so good. It's fun. It doesn't take itself too seriously until it does, but then it works somehow. And I think it's just like, it's a great thing that America finally got onto the Yakuza bandwagon eventually.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad for that, because we'd be missing out on something really special if we didn't get it eventually. So I love it. I highly encourage everyone to at least try out either Yakuza 1 Kiwami or Yakuza 0. Both of those games, all-timers. If that doesn't hook you, probably not for you. But I think they are the culmination of the side-scrolling beat-em-ups that we grew up with. They are just that in, like, with modern technology and modern gameplay styles, and they are all wrapped in this beautiful package of, like, a tongue-in-cheek, funny, absurd, very Japanese Yakuza drama, which is, like, kind of everything I love.
Yeah.
So it speaks to me in a way that very few other games do. In a way that, like, Metal Gear does, where it can be weird and funny and strange, but then also take itself very seriously when it needs to. So there's something to that. I really am excited by everything that studio's doing. And that's sort of my semi-cheers if I had to give one.
Okay. Beautiful. I didn't come up with, like,
That's fine. It's fine. You gave me a floor and I took it.
Yeah, good.
So,
Good.
Yeah.
All right. I think that is about it, right?
Yeah.
We are going to take a break. So we're not going to come back for the holidays.
Merry Crisis.
I guess we'll record something after this.
Yeah. We'll give you a little Merry Christmas on the social medias.
Yeah. But otherwise, this will probably be...
Let's be it for the new year.
Yeah, until... Well, wait. Right? Is that it?
Yeah.
Well, we're not going to record... Yeah, I guess...
Yeah, till next year.
I guess it will. Okay, so... Yeah. This is the last episode of 2024.
It was a very good year.
And I guess the only thing to do is say thank you to everybody who's listened. I mean, I think in this year alone, we've probably had the most subs.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
At one time.
Yeah.
And that's fun.
Love to see it.
Cracking away at this thing for a while. And, we just do it for fun. But when people join in on the fun, you can't beat that.
The more the merrier.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, just thank you guys for listening and drinking delicious beer when you can. Joining us on this journey.
Yeah.
That'll continue into 2025. We got no plans of stopping. And, just plans of doing more shit, cool shit, doing the thing. So
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Anything we want to say about we already rated it. It's a 6 out of 6.
It's my beer of the year.
It's a really good, this was good, nice, very good pull here.
Thank you.
To do that. So
Yeah.
Well, for the last episode of 2024, You think we got it?
I know we got it.
Well, if Obi says we got it, then this episode and this year is over. This has been the One Beer In Podcast 2024. Thank you guys for listening. Drink delicious beer. And have yourself a beautiful new year.
We love you.
Love